Free as Air doesn't exist yet. It's going to be a piece that has been written by everyone, of course. In this project, I am directing in the sense that I'm coming up with instigations and I'm steering the group, but the group is making the material. What I'm trying to do is, though I have a vision for the piece, I'm trying to draw out what each individual in the group's dreams for the piece might be. So it's a constant process of listening, balancing, and then trying to influence them as well in a particular direction. My name is Karen Christopher. I was a member of the performance group Goat Island for about 20 years. And I have now my own performance group called Noir. I am a director in the sense of being part of a collective, usually. And I very rarely find myself being the sole director. And in this project, I am directing in the sense that I'm coming up with instigations and I'm steering the group, but the group is making the material. It's not quite finished, but what we're aiming to do is to talk about the ways, or represent or show the ways in which air influences our imagination and, of course, supports our life. In order to make this piece, what we're doing is responding to some ideas like thought equals air, like what are the, why is the sky blue? What are the qualities of air? How do you remove air from the room? And then looking, and also how does air lift an airplane? Or how does an airplane lift into the air? So we're answering some of those questions, and we're trying to do that performatively. The students are, what they're kind of doing, the group that's making the piece, is they're trying to physicalize some of these things. And in physicalizing them, we're coming up with movements and with dialogues and trying to describe our experience, both sort of just practical and emotional as related to air. One of the things the students did was interview specialists who work in various areas that involve air. There was a voice coach. There were a couple of people who were involved in aeronautics. There were people who test air quality, things like that. So one of the little pieces that we're working with, the little performance piece we're working with, has to do with this singing teacher. Two of the students interviewed a singing teacher, and so we're trying to flesh out this material they have from the interview with the singing teacher. And so we got some stories that were quite amazing. One person who's from China, whose grandmother used to take her when she was a child up to the mountain with a bird in a cage, which apparently a lot of older Chinese women do, and they practice these vocalizations, and then they also teach the bird to sing. And two things are happening. One, the bird is getting air and getting to see a bit of nature, and the other is that they're kind of doing these vocalizations with the birds, and then also trying to teach the bird to say, for instance, good morning in Chinese. And we tried to mix these stories with how the vocal teacher explained that she became interested in singing. It's really beautiful and it's really nice, and it includes, grandmothers and karaoke and, all these different aspects of singing. We're composing a piece for breath orchestra, so they're making various kinds of breath noises and making a composition from that. We're working with how does smell affect you, and smell is essentially something that has released itself into the air a little. You're going to find something in it that affects you. It's going to give you other ways to think about air than you've been thinking of before. And I think also what's going to happen is, because these people have made this piece from their own experience and sort of from deep in their own hearts, so to speak, you're going to go with them on this little trip through how something as sort of mundane as air can have an emotional kind of urgency at the heart of it, because we might take you on a little trip through various aspects of air and breathing and the beautiful lift that you get if you let yourself. So we're talking about not just air quality, but we're talking about the qualities of air.